Welcome back, everyone. This is the Honolulu Blues Show, and we're ready to give you guys another great episode. And ironically, we're all, like Nick. It seems like you're kind of like in your backyard right now. Julius, you're in front of the banner, and myself, I'm sitting at the big house. So they're disappeared now on you. I like that, so I can just
There's
go.
a lot of people behind it, Adam. Can you hear us? I mean,
Yeah, but what, huh? Hey, this is what it's gonna be looking like come like September 10th is the first game, I think. So getting excited for not just the Lions, but some college football season too. So it's gonna
I
be
cannot
fun.
wait for that.
But
Michigan hosted Michigan State this
I
year,
know.
right? Oh, it's gonna be a big one.
Hopefully, our boys Julius can get a little revenge, and maybe Blake Corum can go for 5 touchdowns.
It didn't take long, Adam, for the country to forget about Michigan and just pick Ohio State to go undefeated and win the Big Ten outright like any other year in the last 3 decades. So I'm feeling Michigan should have a chip on their shoulder, and I'm very interested in seeing what they're doing. I'm very nervous. I'm not as nervous about them as the Lions, but I'm nervous.
Go Blue. Yeah, I don't blame you. Nick, you got anything to be nervous about between Michigan State or the Lions?
Yeah, for sure. The Lions, Michigan State, not at all. They don't make me nervous. They're about to win it all. Undefeated. Michigan State does have a really tough stretch. They go Ohio State, then Wisconsin, home, then at Michigan. So if we can get into Michigan undefeated, meaning we have beaten Wisconsin and Ohio State going into Michigan, I'll be a happy camper. But that is like that's what scares me. You know what I mean? Other than that, the Lions. What isn't there to be nervous about? You know what I mean? God, the Lions make me nervous about everything.
There we go. I had to change the little lighting setting in the background because there was a big old light that was like right behind my head, and if I move my head like 1 inch, you get this like glaring beam coming at you. So anyone on YouTube's like, "Oh, dude, turn it off,"
Blinded by the light.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. So, my guys, we're on episode 3. And personally, I'll go off first. I think this was my favorite episode yet. The first one, there's nothing like the first one, but this third Hard Knocks episode was pretty good. So, Nick, just real quick teaser reactions before we dive into Hard Knocks. Was this better, worse, or the same as the last 2?
I actually thought it was worse than the first 2. I think it's my least favorite episode so far. Not to say I didn't absolutely love it, because I did. I'm glad it spotlighted a few players that I've been waiting to see. So I enjoyed that. Pimpleton was awesome. A few things we'll get in about, but overall, I thought the episode was good. Can't wait for the next, but it wasn't better than the first, and it wasn't better than the second.
Julius, give me some backup here. Come on, man. I thought this was a pretty good episode.
I mean, I love this episode, actually. Now, I'm done rating the episodes because I'm going to love all 4 of them. All right? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity I'm having, looking into the Lions' inner, dilemmas and conversations and moments, like Khalil Pimpleton juggling amazingly. Best juggling I've ever seen. I mean, we're going to get into it, but there's nothing like I can't even rate the shows because I'm stuck to the screen for the whole show, all 4 shows. There's what can I be disappointed about? There's nothing I can be disappointed about.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, I agree with you, Julius. Like, no matter how, like the episode could be honestly like 30 minutes and just like super bland, and how it's still like, man, that was a good episode of Hard Knocks there. And I think all Lions fans would be doing that too. So it's just the Lions won pride in us. We will, die for our team, no matter how bad they are, no matter what you're putting on. If it's the Lions, we're loving it. Amen. Back to some news. Not a whole lot, but the Lions did make a couple moves. We placed Jamal Williams on the NFI list, which was expected. He's going to be out at least the first 4 games. I don't know exactly how the NFI list works. Probably should, but he will miss the first 4 games for sure, along with Romeo Okora and Jason Kabinda. They were both set to the PUP list, so they will be out the first 4 games as well. And then also, we got Chase Young thrown on the PUP list. I know you guys might be thinking Chase Young doesn't play for the Lions, but he's not going to be playing against the Lions week 2 when we take on the Commanders. So that's going to be really nice because he was, he's a good defender. And to have, a pass rush without Chase Young, Goff should be able to eat it up. So
I mean, they got a good defense there in Washington in general. You know what I mean? With a lot of Alabama guys on that defense. But, without Chase Young, hey, that's okay with me.
We'll take it, yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, Jameson Williams, you thinking we see him, before week 8? Because week 8's right about the middle of the season, and he'll be eligible to play by week 8. So do you think the Lions pull the trigger? Do you think?
Well, yeah. He'll be eligible to play by week 5 as of right now, right? We set the over-under when we did our over-under. I set it for 11 and a half games, right? So is it under 11, or is it 12 or more games? I think we all said under. Meaning I am still expecting him to miss the first 6 games. And I was just talking to my buddy, and I honestly said he'll probably miss the first 8 games. And he said, no, there's no reason to. Now, if we're like 3-3, 4-2, 2-4, but all games are super close, and we need a little spark on our offense, we might see Jameson Williams back by week 7. If we're 1-5, right, we might not see Jameson Williams back till week 8, 9, 10. Or not back, but just we might not see Jameson Williams. I think our schedule's I think our record's gonna kind of dictate it. But if I was a betting man, and like we had in our betting show, I'm saying at least 6 games, and your question was 8 games. Do we see him before week 8? I'm going to say no. I think week 9 will be his first game.
I like it. Julius, any opposition?
I don't know. I feel like he's healthier than we think, and they're just being safe with him. I mean, if we 0-4, 0-5, and it's a train wreck, okay, I understand. But I feel like he has a good shot of being back, pretty quickly after he comes off that list. And I'm sure he's going to be close to 100, if not 100% when he comes back. Just shaking some rust off in practice. I think he could be a pretty good impact pretty early on in the season by week 5, week 6. I think he could be activated and starting in the starting lineup.
So I'm going to call this now. Jameson Williams is going to make his starting debut week 8 against the Cowboys, game number 7, because the Lions have a bye on week 6. I
will be at that game, Adam, and he's going to light the Cowboys up. I hope your prediction is correct.
So I'm sorry. Game 6, week 7 is when he's going to play. Is my prediction. Right after the bye.
Against the boys?
Yeah, against the Cowboys, yes. So hopefully he torches Trayvon Diggs, and that's the coming out party.
Julius, if Jameson Williams goes up and breaks the rookie record for most receiving yards in his first ever game against the Cowboys, and you're at the game, you're not allowed to miss another game. We'll be flying you to every game, so you know. So.
Bro, I'll be going to all 17 games every year.
Dude, what if Jameson Williams does just come out against the Cowboys, catches like 9 balls for 260 and 3 touchdowns or something?
I can't wait until he's in the lineup. I feel like, I'm waiting on like Jay Nivey or Penei Sewell. I feel like I'm waiting on a special player.
And like, it's not even like I'm excited to see which I'm super excited to see Jameson Williams, but like I'm super excited to see Jameson Williams with Amon-Ra St. Brown, with DJ Shark, with TJ Hawkinson, with DeAndre Swift, with that offensive line. Like, this offense could literally just be like full-blown best offense, top 5 offense, best offense in the NFC in the division. Like, and I'm not trying to drink the Kool-Aid, but like
Kool-Aid overflow.
it could be so good though. It could be so good, bro.
If our defense isn't historically bad again.
Well, even if they are bad, it might make our offense even better because, like, you know what I mean? A lot of points, you know what I mean? Maybe. We'll see. Jared Goff. It's all going to rely on Jared Goff.
Speaking of Jared Goff, I just saw this a second ago. Mad Dog recently put Jared Goff in the same conversation as Aaron Rodgers. And not for just, like, this season. It was at the end of their careers. Jared Goff and Aaron Rodgers will be in the same category. And even I am laughing at that. But for him just to make that point on the Stephen A show or First Take or whatever that show is with Stephen A. But Mad Dog, man, oh my gosh, that was bold to say Jared Goff at the end of their careers are going to be in the same conversation as Aaron Rodgers. But hey, if Goff wins a Super Bowl for the Lions.
Dude, exactly. That's exactly it. Like, just because Rodgers is this, like, I don't know. I mean, what if Jared Goff comes out and throws 35 touchdowns, 9 picks, and gets to the Super Bowl with the Lions? Like, I mean, Aaron Rodgers won 1 Super Bowl and has won MVPs, and I get it, man. I think sometimes this MVP voting is biased, though. I just hate Aaron Rodgers. I can't believe he gets so much love. Like, I hate him.
Man, me too. I'm glad to see he's going to be gone in a couple of years. Hopefully his wide receivers are just terrible. Hopefully Sammy Watkins, Alan Lazard are just garbage, and Romeo Doubs was just an illusion playing well against preseason and second stringers. But I know, Nick, I'm on the train with you. I think he's going to be pretty solid for fantasy. So side note, if you're a fantasy football player, Romeo Doubs, keep him on your radar. But other than that, Julius, any comments? I mean, I don't know, not to go real deep on this whole, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers comparison, but
is Mad Dog off his rocker, or does he have a valid point? He's obviously.
I don't see them as similar players, Goff and Rodgers. Rodgers is, his arm is special. Okay, I've watched it for a long time, and his arm does things that only he can make it do. There's not many players that can throw like Aaron Rodgers. Jared Goff is a good quarterback when he's comfortable. Okay, when he has a great O-line, a good running game, great receivers, a healthy, decent defense backing him up. We saw in LA what he can do. I believe he can do that with Detroit. But all those things have to work out for him, because last year I saw him get uncomfortable and things didn't go his way. And I hope he's past that, okay? I hope I hope we get this guy extension at the end of the year because he plays so good. You know what I'm saying? Don't even draft no quarterback with those 2 first-round picks. Continue to build the best defense possible.
Yeah, obviously Jared Goff is not as good as Aaron Rodgers, but ultimately, I don't know this answer right now, but if we could look up both quarterbacks' playoff wins, isn't that what we?
That's what Mad Dog. That was his point.
Okay, that's exactly what you. Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is 11-10 in his playoff performances, and I think it was like Jared Goff was like 5-1 or something, because he had that one Super Bowl run that just lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, he's lost like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, you're right. He's
like 6-2 or 6.
He's got a decent record because he did beat the Seahawks, I think, 2 years ago. His last year with the Rams.
Broken thumb.
Yeah, with the broken thumb, which was actually mildly impressive. So,
very impressive. Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Enough about Jared Goff. Let's dive into.
He's only our quarterback, and we'll only talk about him for literally the next 6 months. Enough about him.
100%. So yeah, honestly, right from the get-go, this show, I got a chuckle out of it. You see Dan Campbell walking in, the guys are, doing stretches, doing warm-ups, and he goes up to big Aleem McNeil and is like, hey, why are you last out here? And although he is kind of making a point, like, I see you're last out here every day, buddy. Like, I don't want to see that no more. He turned it into like a positive, reinforcement type joke where Aleem was like, nah, I'm sorry. You could tell he felt like pressured, like, oh no, like coach caught me. And he goes, Dan Campbell came back and was like, nah, man, just be you. Come late every day, be you. And they both kind of got a little laugh out of it. And hey, if it works for Aleem coming late every day, then so be it. But
I loved that part. I loved that part. Like, we've all been caught. And like jokingly called out on it and like almost shit ourselves, turned pale white, like, oh fuck. Like, what? You say what? And then what? Who? And Aleem McNeil says, and Campbell goes up to him and he's like, what? And he's like, no, all right, come late every day. That's fine, dude. If Aleem McNeil isn't the first one out on every single day for after that, like, he ain't making the team, because like if the coach be calling you out and being the last person on the field every day, you better be freaking Reggie White, and Aleem McNeil ain't there yet.
100%. And then he runs up after, I like this. He goes up to Shane Zylstra, how to pronounce his last name. He started giving him the tight end coaching tips, which is kind of cool. You kind of got to see like inside the mind of Dan Campbell and like how he would coach a tight end. And he kept telling him like, no, man, you're a fast tight end. So use that speed to your advantage. Use your, get quick off the ball. Use those feet, chop, chop, chop. Don't, take your big steps. And you're not, a big bulky tight end. You can get off the ball quick. So I like the little stuff like that, our boy Dan Campbell is just coaching up, the backups, because Hawkinson, he doesn't need any of that coaching. But Zylstra, James Mitchell, Funchess, all those guys, they could definitely take a word or two from the man.
Amen. He's a great coach.
And then next up, oh man, they had this was like this. Did you guys feel like a little like gut wrenching? Like, oh, this is gonna be the guy that's like the good story, but just has to be cut. And I'm talking about Obina, however you pronounce his first name, but Easy, as they all call him. Great dude from Nigeria, straight out from Nigeria, has been only playing football for 6 years. So for him to make a pro football team just playing football for 6 years tells me that this dude has some raw talent. It's somewhere in him. He's just got to be untapped, find the right coach to get it out of him. Unfortunately, don't think the Lions are going to be the team for him. I think he's going to be the sad cut because he had such a great story. I loved his wife cheered him on. I hope he makes the team, honestly, but I feel like Hard Knocks was kind of doing it up a bit to like give us that, that gut-wrenching fan moment. Am I right, Nick? Or
yeah, they always got to have that. But what I noticed last year was, and especially with the practice squads being opened up, a lot of these gut-wrenching moments aren't even that gut-wrenching because they're like, look, you didn't make the 53-man roster, but you're on the practice squad. And they're like, all right. And it's not really that sad anymore. It used to be like, we used to see 3 different weeks of cuts, and those were gnarly. Now we don't really see any cuts. Now it's just everyone's got to get a participation trophy, especially on HBO now. So I think he makes practice squad. I do not think he makes 53-man roster. Same with Khalil Pimpleton. But yes, one of those two could be the sad story of the Lions, and I hope honestly that it's Easy and not Pimpleton because I love Pimpleton. Pimp, as they call him.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, Julius, you got, Easy or Pimpleton? You have to keep one.
If I had to keep one, it'd probably be Pimpleton because he's more useful in special teams and he has speed. Easy, I just don't believe he's going to make the squad because we got 13 offensive linemen right now, and we got to cut that down almost in half, maybe keeping 8 on 53, 9. I'm not sure, but I just don't think Easy's, and we saw the struggles in the episode. He was getting chewed out by Hank Fraley in film room because he lacked effort in several moments on the film. Yeah, cheating. He's cheating himself. He's who you cheating? Easy said, nobody. You cheating yourself.
Cheating us.
Exactly, cheating us. You cheating the team. And at this point, I think it's a practice squad option definitely right there for Easy. Same could be said for Pimp, even though I take Pimp over Easy. Yeah. Pimp is a great practice squad as it currently stands because the Lions have a ish load of receivers on the roster currently, and it's going to be hard to beat out the likes of Tom Kennedy and Trinity Benson because they mean so much, special teams and depth.
Yeah. Adam, I love that you just turned your video off to sneeze.
I know.
But left your voice.
Polite, Adam. Appreciate it.
We can all hear you sneeze. We just couldn't see it. It was the funniest thing ever.
I meant to hit mute. I hit the top cam, and I was already full on into sneeze. So I was like, no, turn it back.
He's like, no one can ever see me sneeze.
Yeah. I just have a crazy sneeze. Yeah. So I agree with you guys. Hopefully he easy bounces around, stays maybe on the practice squad, gets his shot with the Lions. But all in all, dude seems like a great guy that, hopefully gets his shot in the NFL. Like I said, only play football for 6 years and you're on the NFL team. That's, that says a lot. And not to mention, he literally not just didn't play football, had no idea anything about the sport. He said he'd never seen a pro football helmet. He'd never picked up a football before. And then he came to, I forget what state it was, but what the states, and he went to high school, and that's when he started his career. And it was like his junior year in high school. So he only got a couple years of high school, then 5 years in college. So guy's real raw. Hopefully he can make a name for himself either with the Lions or elsewhere. Let's jump back into Khalil Pimpleton because he was another guy that kind of, made this show pretty good, pretty funny. So he comes out, he and they're like, all right, say your name and what your signing bonus was. And this was actually kind of cool. Although he didn't want to say a signing bonus, it was cool to know that, okay, undrafted rookies get, like a 15K, 20K, 25K, around that, signing bonus. So granted, it's not the most, but hey, 15K right off the get-go, I'll take that all day. So when you guys saw Pimpleton coming up, did you know immediately he was getting ready to juggle? I mean, you could kind of see the balls in his hands, but did you know he was getting ready to juggle? Do you think he was getting ready to sing, dance, or what? Julius, what was the mind thinking of Julius?
I was just interested in what it was because each performance up to that point highlighted on the show had been a highlight of the show. Billie Jean, Aiden Hutchinson, Malcolm Rodriguez, Rodrigo, doing his dance. And Khalil Pimpleton, I know he had character. I kind of, look back at his career, CMU, fun-loving guy, competitive guy, short, probably the shortest, smallest guy on the team offensively. I mean, just a tiny guy, but just a lot of fun. So when he started juggling, at first I didn't think he was that good. I just kind of like Aiden and Rodriguez. Like at first I wasn't impressed. I was like, kind of going with the crowd of the Lions crowd, the teammates. They were kind of like, and then he started to hit some tricks, keeping the ball moving, and I fell for it, just like I fell for Aiden Hutchinson and Rodriguez. Once the rest of the Lions, started to get hype, I started to get hype, and at the end of it all, I was clapping for him. So I loved it.
I like it. Nick, what do you give his juggling skills?
I give them a solid. I mean, it's something I wish I could do and I can't do. And he did knock my socks off with that juggling skills. I've seen a lot better juggling. I mean, if he would have busted out some like chainsaws, then like I'd have been like, all right. Now,
chainsaws, I would like simmer down with those in the locker room.
Some sticks on fire. You know what I mean? Catching it in his mouth and whatnot. See, like now that I'd pay some money for. I mean, it was all right. It was good. I liked the tricks. I mean, behind the back, under the legs. You know what I mean? He wasn't a singer. No one's going to beat Billie Jean, right? They started out with the best. Everything else is going to be. But to be all honest, I'm almost starting to care less about these. I really don't care. I want to see Jameson Williams. I want to see Jameson Williams and what he did or what he has to do. I want to see. I assume he's going to rap because
I got a little spoiler for you, Nick. A little inside info.
Oh, nice.
Likely not going to see any Jameson Williams, all Hard Knocks. So,
where's this coming from?
Fingers crossed. My one buddy works on the production team. He's like a production assistant. So, he's bottom of the bottom. So you never know. He might not know. But he said when I asked him, I was like, "Think we do see any Jameson?" He did say he talked to him a couple times in the hallway, and he said he's a really cool dude, super nice, completely different. Like when you meet him, you're like, "Oh, this guy's cool." He's not a quiet, shy type player. He's got a personality to him. So it was cool to hear about that. We're actually going to have him on to talk about the whole HBO Hard Knocks experience, which will be pretty cool.
Jameson Williams?
None.
I'm just joking.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
You're right. Maybe. Invitation is open, bro.
Yeah, always open, but no. So knock on wood. Hopefully we do get a little snippet of Jameson because, we just need a little something. But as of now,
yeah, and that makes we all literally talked about that before Hard Knocks. We just kind of all felt that I was really hoping to see. I knew I wouldn't see his rookie. I want to though.
He did something too. Like he had to. So it's like it's out there. They recorded it.
Didn't he rap in college, or am I just making that up? Am I thinking of someone else?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking of Kadarius Toney, and I don't know what I'm thinking. But anyways, last thing I wanted to say about Khalil Pimpleton, did anyone notice or see when he was talking with Dan Campbell, how much Dan Campbell looked like the Hulk compared to how
much bigger he was? Yes. Oh my gosh, dude.
Pimpleton was looking up like, okay, coach.
Like, all right, coach.
All right.
It reminded me of like a rapper and his bodyguard.
Wait,
like
what?
It reminded me of like a rapper and his bodyguard. Because all these
Suge
rappers
Knight and Eazy-E, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's that it was. I found that very humanizing for Khalil Pimpleton. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what his stats are, but he's got to be like 5'8". He's got to be like Adam. You know what I mean? Just a little old Adam running around, dude. Just fast as all hell, though. Dude. Not that you're fast, Adam. We heard your fantasy football story or your flag football story.
Hey, I'm a speedster, man. People don't look like it, but I got that quick feet,
So fast, the quarterback underthrew you, bro. I know.
So yeah, and then the one thing I will say, although the juggling was silly, it was he is a juggler and he's wide receiver, so it tells me he's got some good hand-eye coordination. So if Pimpleton does make his way into the roster, stays on the practice squad.
That's also kind of why I wasn't the biggest fan of that, because I feel like all receivers can juggle. Like, I mean, if you're not, then you should be able. You should be practicing.
Exactly. Yeah. Next up, they went straight into the practice / scrimmage / crossover practice they had with the Colts. This was kind of cool. Frank Reich went he honestly made Dan Campbell blush, because Campbell walks over. He's like, "How you doing, Coach? What's going on?" He's like, "Oh man, look at you. You're a giant. You can still get out there and play." And Campbell's like, "Oh no, stop it." And it's kind of like a funny little moment where Reich was hyping Campbell up, and you could tell Campbell was like, "All right, I know. I still got the guns," So I like the camaraderie, and that Campbell is still himself, even to other coaches. He's not changing his personality, being a straightly business football type guy. Nick, what's the biggest thing that stood out in this Colts practice other than the Jamal Williams fight? So we'll get into not fight, but scuffle, whatever you want to call it. We'll get into that. But outside of that, was there anything in this crossover practice that stuck out to you?
The biggest thing that stuck out to me in this crossover practice, and I'm going to try to do it right now, so excuse me. Here we go. This is the best part. Oh, no, I can't even do it. I can't even get my voice that high. Deuce Staley trying to freaking yell at the running back. It was the funniest thing I freaking ever heard. So there's a few things about that. I'm going to read a little deeper into it. It was Deuce Staley better not been putting on a show for Hard Knocks, yelling more than he normally did. I do not like that. If he didn't, if he's losing his voice every year in practice after the first couple of weeks, that's fine, because he's better not have been for Hard Knocks. I'd be pretty pissed about that. But he lost his voice. We had a shitty ass practice, kind of because Deuce maybe wasn't out there yelling at everyone. We come back with the second practice. We come back strong, come back hard. Our defense looks good. Our offense looks good. Deuce is yelling again. That was the biggest takeaway I had.
Yeah, I agree. And when he brought in all the running backs and his voice was just completely shot, the first thing I thought of was oh man, this is such a good inspirational speech. But there's no way any of these running backs can take him serious right now. Hearing this Mickey Mouse high pitched wheezy type voice coming at him. So hopefully, Swift and Jamal and Craig, blocked all that out and stayed focused on the message. But it was pretty funny. Julius, you got any?
Hey, I'm with you guys. I was going to mention that was the most compelling part of the camp for me, other than Jamal Williams, was Deuce Staley. And pretty much this entire show is, I feel like the highlight is the coaches. Dan Campbell, it's the Dan Campbell and team show, and his assistants, Deuce Staley, Aaron Glenn, Hank Fraley, Kelvin Shepard. Even though we're not really getting Ben Johnson, and I know some fans are upset about that, they want to see.
Quite interesting, isn't it?
But yeah, it's weird. It's odd. It's a great point, because I didn't even realize that.
And Ben Johnson, he's the new guy. He's the new offensive coordinator. We want to see what kind of relationship he got with Goff and the other offense.
Ben Johnson, the only one also not to have played in the NFL.
No, he played tight end.
Did he play in the NFL I thought he only was collegiate. But
maybe he was only collegiate. I'm not sure. I don't recall, but I don't know if it's a lack of personality.
Yeah.
Or if it's because the Lions strategically don't want Ben Johnson on camera, because they just trying to I don't know if that's a team choice or a production choice from HBO, but no Antoine Randall, no Ben Johnson, and that's okay with me.
Randall had a little bit, but
Deuce Staley,
he was just a college player.
Deuce Staley, like you mentioned, Nick, about his yelling, and a lot of people have been mentioning that about the coaches. Are they showing off for the cameras? And what I've been doing the last couple episodes, I've watched every episode already 3 times each, and I'm looking at the body language of the players and the facial expressions of the players, and they seem to be receiving it pretty well and reacting to it pretty well. And there seems to be a strong relationship being built. And Deuce Staley is a motivator. I mean, he gets those running backs going. Craig Reynolds, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. I've seen all of them respond to Deuce Staley positively and on the field, results wise. So I don't think this, even if they're showing off a little bit for the camera, I don't think it's a negative.
Here's the take I want to make real quick. This has nothing to do with anything. I was just thinking about it while you're talking. Shows you how much I was listening. I think because this team is full of ex-NFL players who became coaches and a lot of motivators, Deuce Staley, Dan Campbell, you know what I mean? A lot of motivators. I think we are watching 3 to 5 future NFL head coaches on the field right now. I'm not talking about Deuce Staley and Antoine Randall and Aaron Glenn. Wow. I am talking about players on the field for the Detroit Lions right now. If I were ever to be motivated to go from NFL to coaching, it would be from a staff that is filled with people who went from NFL to coaching, from Calvin Shepard, from Hank Fraley, Randall L., Deuce Staley, Dan Campbell, all these guys, Aubrey Pleasant, all these guys are paving the way, right, for a lot of the guys on the Lions right now to become David Blau. A lot of these running backs could become, like, Craig Reynolds could be a coach. Like, I see a lot of coaches on the team, and if anyone saw the Lions, actually, this is kind of like a news. I think we're going to see it more on next week's Hard Knocks. They went a practice without any coaches. Yeah. Dan Campbell was the only one there, and he didn't even coach. He just walked around. All assistant coaches were gone, and they had the players coach themselves. You know what I mean? The veterans coach the young guys and run drills and whatnot. And I think that's because what they're doing is preparing these guys not for this season, not for next season, not for the Super Bowl, but they're preparing them for life. And I think it's a phenomenal thing. So just mark my words now, in like 20 years when Jamal Williams is a coach and you know, I don't even know, Michael Brockers is a coach. I don't know, the random coaches, all that like stemmed from this Detroit Lions team. I promise you it's going to be like that. Random thought. Just want to get that out.
No, that's a great thought, honestly. But like ultimate plot twist here. The Lion lost my screen here. Had a little dimness go down me. But the Lions, we bring in Jared Goff. And Jared Goff, you know, flames out, doesn't, you know, do much for the Lions. But 5 years later, comes back, coaches for the Lions, and leads the Lions to a Super Bowl, all because, you know, Dan Campbell, Deuce Staley, all these coaches inspired him to be a head coach. And Jared Goff was just one hell of a head coach and not, you know, better head coach than player, because honestly, we've seen that a lot in sports where
I think there's not a lot of starting quarterbacks. I think it would be like
maybe not quarterback
or David Blau, who would end up being this crazy good head coach. And we'd be like, what? David fucking Blau? You know what I mean?
Like, we see it like Sean McVay. He played football for a minute. I mean,
Frank Reich. You know what I mean?
Harbaugh brothers. Yeah, Frank Reich.
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
There's tons.
There's a lot of like random old like backup quarterbacks that become extremely successful head coaches, which is why like Mike Kafka, Kellen Moore. You know what I mean? These guys are going to be good head coaches.
Kellen Moore, he was a product of Detroit, and he's getting ready to be a head coach within the probably next like 2-3 years.
I would think so. I think he gets his chance for sure.
Especially if Dallas, you know, does something this year. Well, side tangent, but another thing that, you know, was super cool that right before they did this, you know, crossover practice was Aaron Glenn walks up to Aiden Hutchinson. He's like, "Hey, Hutch, come here." Calls him over. He's like, "Hey, man, I just want to say that you are everything that I thought you'd be, and it is so awesome and nice to have that validation that you are, you know, this superstar, maybe not generational, but superstar talent we have, and we were right about it, you know." So we're good to see it, and it was nice to see them share that little moment because it's a boost in Hutchinson's, you know, confidence. I'm sure he gets tons of stuff like that all the time where, you know, he hasn't changed from who he was. He's just always been himself, this workout warrior from the get-go, which is nice. But ultimately, you know, Hutchinson, he has completely won over every Lions fan in, you know, Michigan and, you know, the world if you're a Lions fan. So Hayden Hutchinson, he is here to do some special things, and, you know, Aaron Glenn is starting to recognize it first.
I'm glad you brought that up because I did want to bring that up myself. I'm sick and tired of this. Stop telling this guy that he's already a god amongst men 2 preseason games in. This kid needs to stay hungry. I bet he's watched all these HBO shows, and I bet he's seen inside the freaking coaches' rooms where they're like, he's the real deal, isn't he? He's everything we thought he would be. He's amazing. Aaron Glenn goes up and tells him that. DC's telling him that. Stop it. He's 2 preseason games in. One preseason game in where at the end of the drive, he even said on Hard Knocks he was exhausted and was like, that was a lot. That was a long drive. Well, you got 60 minutes of that, and it's going to be a long season. You got a full season. Aiden Hutchinson is great, and he is a workout machine, and we love it, and I can't wait to see his success and for future, for the Lions. But my God, I'm seeing this once an episode. Everyone, Aiden, you are just thank you for being exactly who we thought you were.
Can I renege on that point real quick, Nick?
Go ahead.
Because something I heard Aaron Glenn tell him in that segment was real recognize real. And so I feel like Aiden Hutchinson, you're right. You're right about you don't want to blow up these kids' heads and, get into their ego and they lose focus on what's important. But I feel like Hutch is immune to it. I feel like he's maybe used to it. And I just feel like I watch him every rep and reports out of camp. Every rep is always 100. His attitude, his character, I feel like he might be immune to it. I'm not really too much worried about it.
I'm glad you aren't. I need someone to calm me down, but I just feel like you're right. I feel like we're blowing him up too much, and I want someone to come up to him and be like, "Yo, Aiden, great rep, but honestly, you need to stay hungry. You need to do this better, and you need to get better at this." You know what I mean? Right. That's what I want to see. But we won't get that. He's too good. I get it. I like it. I appreciate it.
You think they wouldn't telling the Watt brothers the same thing they rookie years in camp when they saw it with their own eyes, what they had on the field? I'm telling you, some players, I don't think it affects them as much.
I think you're right. It would affect me, but probably not Aiden.
Oh, it definitely affects me too.
You're right. I am pretty fucking good. In fact, I'm taking this practice off.
I'll be losing all my focus thinking I'm the next Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I love what the comedian said about him too. I don't know where we're going to the next segment.
Oh man,
I hope he's about.
He was funny. He was
freaking great. The way he got to Dan Campbell, he's like, "Yo, dude, I watched that."
Hey, brother.
Man, those last 6 push-ups, those were downward dog. He's like, you got to put the tape on real quick for Hard Knocks. He's like, we all saw that.
He was funny. Then he called Aiden Hutchinson. He's like, we got Hutch back here. He's like a giant boy band member. Big old
Dustin Timberlake coming off the edge.
Oh, he was hilarious. Almost every joke he cracked was funny. He was a local comedian. He's from Oak Park, Josh Adams.
Yep.
I love that they incorporated a local Detroiter into the show.
You know how many
very talented guy.
Yeah. So many comedians would push for 3 minutes on HBO. Oh, you know what I mean?
That was a shot of a lifetime.
And he nailed it, dude. He's like, yo, that entrance was so good. They actually all working out and building a car.
And I liked how he entered. He's like, "Hi, my name's Josh Adams. I got a $200 signing bonus."
Yeah, I got $200 signing bonus.
He was talking about Campbell's up downs. How the last six he was barely doing them.
He's like, those are downward dogs, dude.
But real quick, back to the crossover practice though. Jamal Williams. So before he got his inner dog came out. He was, playing football with, some stands or some fans in the stands. And did you guys know that Jamal Williams was a lefty? Because I didn't know that, and I caught it. He was throwing footballs with his left hand, so I was like, "Oh, Jamal's a lefty. Maybe we can do a little lefty trickery."
No, but I loved the coaches being like, "You better keep a check in your back pocket. You're gonna injure someone out there." I was like, "That's funny as shit."
So yeah, Jamal Williams. This was great, man. He is just if you guys thought Jamal Williams, for him to go from this goofball anime personality dude to this, I'm gonna rip your throat out, I'm better than you, I will beat you every single second down, whatever, just super bulldog mentality. I would have never guessed it, and it's awesome to see that Jamal Williams can back up his statement of, I will run you over while I cry. Because part of me, honest to God, part of me was like, is Jamal Williams, like, does he have this inner, beast in him? Will he be able to, knock a helmet off a dude? Or is he just Mr., run hard, good, hard worker? And sure enough, man, Jamal Williams is a bad, bad dude. Him, taking off his helmet, going like face to face with a guy wearing a helmet. My whole thing was like, oh my God, if this dude does a headbutt, Jamal Williams is going to be out the season with like an everlasting concussion. So glad it didn't get super physical, because Jamal was taking his helmet off quite a bit, but he had a lot of reasons to do so. And he was, he got the best of whatever the defender's name was for the Colts, but he did. It was hilarious. He clapped back. I know you guys saw it on Twitter. And he was like, oh, they only posted, the 3 routes that he didn't even win. He said, crap about Jamal Williams. When in reality, this dude maybe won 1 rep out of like 5 or 6, and Jamal Williams toasted him on the other 4 or 5. So it was great to see Jamal Williams like pulling out that like inner beast of himself. I don't know if that dude said something to him first, and that's what triggered it, but it took a little extra something for, Jamal Williams to get that mad in like not even a preseason game, in like a scrimmage practice drill. So Julius, let's shoot on over to you. I'm sure, did you see, the tweet of this before it came on? Because there was a little clip where they showed Jamal Williams get into it. And then on Hard Knocks, there was actually a little bit more to it. They had a couple other scenes that I didn't see on Twitter. So.
Yeah, I didn't see the tweet, but I did watch that scene extensively, and Jamal Williams seemingly did too much, because he was pretty much egging the dude on at the end of the fight, like just trying to start something. But I'm sure that I forgot the guy's name, but I believe he's like a roster bubble guy with the Colts or backup. I'm sure that guy started it with Jamal, and Jamal, his emotions come out when he gets riled up. Some players are like that. That's that bulldog energy you're talking about, Adam. That's a good thing. You see it come out on the field because he runs with that energy as well. But of course, I didn't have a problem with it, because that probably would have been me. But everybody is different. Everybody releases this energy and this that I don't know. I don't know. You get into it. It's a very male ego thing, what you saw with Jamal Williams.
100%, man. That's like a guy, like someone called his wife a name or something,
Exactly.
That's that anger. You
walked up and slapped him like fucking Will Smith, baby.
He kept taking off his helmet after every play. He kept taking off his helmet after every play. The guy would be walking away, and Jamal Williams take off his helmet and start screaming.
It was good, man. It was good. And all right, Nick, let me ask you this. Do you think, because Dan Campbell's like, Jamal, chill. We're good here. Do you think Campbell was thinking like, Jesus Christ, this dude's a maniac. Don't get this guy mad. Note to self, my gosh. Or do you think Dan Campbell has always known that, like, oh, don't get Jamal mad. He'll hurt somebody.
I think he's always known. This isn't brand new for Jamal Williams. He always wears his emotions on his sleeve. We're just seeing it this year for the first time, in my opinion. Dan Campbell did look almost a little like, yo, dude, you do gotta take it. But here's the thing, is right before that practice, Dan Campbell was one who was like, I don't want anyone fighting. You fight, you're kicked out. But you need to toe that line. He literally told his team that. That's all I saw was Jamal Williams taking his head coach's advice, which was toe that fucking line and get as close as you can to starting a brawl, but do not start a brawl. And that's exactly what J. Will did. It was a bit much in my opinion, but obviously it was great because it's Jamal Williams. The dude obviously held him on that one play that he missed. Jamal Williams got the better of him, made the good catch. Ultimately, Jamal Williams is a backup running back, talking a lot of beef to a linebacker that's not even going to make the team. Like, this is just Hard Knocks. They had to get something out there. And that's just who Jamal Williams is. I got no qualms with that. Let's play football. But he toed the line. He did exactly what Dan Campbell said. That was my takeaway, is that he listened to his coach and did what his coach said. Great fucking job, Jamal Williams.
Yeah, 100%. Just like to see these reps, and hopefully, some other players are watching. We're like, oh, all right. That's gonna be me next practice. I'm gonna bust out my inner beast and go crazy on someone. So hopefully, he gets some other guys riled up. Okay, next up, Malcolm Rodrigo. It seems like we're getting to talk about him every episode now. And the more I see this guy, the more I think like this dude's the real deal, man. Like I don't want to say it because I feel like there's just so much like, here's a highlight, here's a highlight. All you're going to see is highlights and none of this guy's bad plays. So I feel like I'm getting force-feeded into thinking he's a good player. But damn, man, every highlight, every play, everything he does, I'm just impressed with this dude. If it's his work ethic, if it's, his holes, if it's his reads, if it's, his mentality, I love it all. And I do believe he's going to win that starting job for the Lions. And I think he's probably going to be our best linebacker by, week 8 or, midseason, end of the year. So, Julius, I know you're a big Derek Barnes guy, but has Malcolm Rodriguez won your heart over anyway, like, Derek Barnes did?
Yeah, he seems to have a different mentality about him that serves well, and I can just see that that's lacking in a lot of other players. Derek Barnes, I'm still hopeful for, but not confident about at this moment. Malcolm Rodriguez, I'm not confident about either, but I'm a lot more hopeful than the other linebackers. And the Lions could really use him to be good. Like literally, we could use that. If this 6th-round guy from Oklahoma State becomes one of the leaders of our defense his rookie season, that's something the Lions could use. So very hopeful for Rodrigo. Very hopeful. I'm just trying to qualm my hopes because it's the Lions defense we're talking about. It's a 6th-round rookie. He's not going to be our savior alone.
I agree. But, hey, a 6th round, a starter, absolutely take that. Even if he's just, a contributor, role player, I'll absolutely take that. So,
yeah. I mean, Rodrigo, I went back and watched a lot of the plays, and I specifically watched the linebackers. Derek Barnes had a hell of a game against Indy. He really stepped up, in my opinion. Rodrigo did his thing. There was a big 3rd down play where he chipped the wide receiver about 4 yards deep, and then went and blocked, made a play on the targeted wide receiver, running back, targeted pass catcher. Anyways, he's hitting every gap like he needs to. He's defending like he needs to. There's some plays you'll catch where he falls out of position. That'll come with experience. Our linebacking core is so dreadful right now. We absolutely need Derek Barnes and Rodrigo to stay healthy all season and be a big, vital part of it. Obviously, we saw Kelvin Shepard his option to not play Alex Anzalone, who is still the quarterback of our defense. He is the main linebacker who verbalizes everything. Him out there with Rodrigo or Barnes, whether they're playing the Sam, the Wheel, the Mike, wherever they want to end up playing those linebacker positions and where they want to set them, it's going to be vital for our run stoppers that those linebackers are hitting every gap. If the way that Philly beat us last year was that they scored 3 touchdowns, right? We talked about that on the ground. They just
Darius Slay freaking had 2 touchdowns himself.
So well, in regards to just like our defense, if we can stop their run week 1, that is how we're going to have to win that game. But we're not going to be able to stop the run if our linebackers are all miscued and out of position, out of place, not filling gaps. So if our linemen can fill what they need to, that's going to open up an ABC gap. Our linebackers need to hit all of them along with the safety because we're only playing 2 linebackers. So it's going to be interesting. Our linebacking crew, our defensive line is obviously like our whole defense is a big weak point, in my opinion. I've said it for the last couple of weeks now, ever since our first preseason game. But I have a lot of hope for Derek Barnes, and I have the utmost faith in Rodrigo, even as a 6th-rounder. The only thing that really scares me is how undersized he is. But if he can just play smart, follow Anzalone and Barnes, these 3 could be a very successful linebacking crew.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there, Nick. And not to mention, Rodrigo he seems like a guy that will fire up, other players and, will be able to motivate other players. And also, like Rodrigo, Alex Anzalone, we've seen this, before. He's kind of like a motivator. He's, our, voice, our linebacker in the defense. So if he could, coach up Rodrigo, that would be huge because he honestly could be, a solid starter for the Lions in being a 6th-round pick. And personally, I think we're going to get an excellent test week 1. We're going to do a great breakdown of this once, our week 1 preview comes to in a couple weeks. But when we play the Eagles, we're going to be seeing Frank Ragnow versus Jordan Davis, which is going to be an awesome matchup. You're going to see Malcolm Rodriguez, Derek Barnes, Alex Anzalone have to cover, a mobile quarterback and Jalen Hurts right off the get-go week 1. So we'll know if, Dan Campbell can still, keep a quarterback in check because he seemed to, pretty good last year. Last year we played the Eagles. I don't think Hurts did a whole lot. I think it was just the other running backs that tore us apart and defense. So we're going to get that. And then we get Devonta Smith on either Jeff Okudah or Will Harris when Amani O gets a true test against A.J. Brown. It's just every guy seems to have the perfect, week 1 test to see who's real and who's not. So I'm excited for it. Next up, before we wrap this baby up, another thing I noticed about, this Indy Colts Lions practice crossover, whatever you want to call it. It's a million words there. But Hutchinson, he goes 100% plus every snap. Like there's a lot of players that you'll see them, they'll make their block and then they'll let up, Hutchinson will go 100% until like the coach touches him, until he like gets ready to sack the quarterback. He will go from start to end 100%. When you see a lot of players, like there was Colts players I'd see, would block him once and Hutchinson would just smoke past them. Then they'd be like, I beat me. And it's good and bad that, Hutchinson goes, that crazy all the time. It's good because hopefully he could do that all game. But, I don't want to see, I would like to see give himself some rest because he is a type of guy that I could see himself having like a minor injury and just being a workout warrior and pushing his body through it, trying to help out a 3-7 Lions team when he really should have just got surgery, taken time off, etc. But that's a whole different story. So, Nick, you getting any vibe of where you just been seeing Hutchinson go 100% every rep, or can you tell me a rep where you're like, nah, he was a bit lazy on that one?
No, and it shouldn't be, and it's exactly what Hank Fraley said in his. Frank Haley said it is. Is it Hank Fraley or Frank Haley? Now I'm completely.
Hank Fraley.
Thank you. I said it the right way, and then I thought to myself it was wrong, and I dyslexiated myself. All right. Anyways, he said it too easy. He says, "Yo, you can't be cheating yourself, right? Because when you cheat yourself, you cheat us." There was another point in like episode 1 where Dan Campbell was like, "I see Charles Harris go as hard as he can every single play in practice, which means in the fourth quarter, I know he's going to be going as hard as he can every single time because that's just what he does. That's what he's engraved to do." That's what Aiden Hutchinson's doing. He's proven that there is never going to be a moment where he's not going to go 100%. Sometimes that can get kind of scary. We saw what happened to Kayvon Thibodeau over the weekend. I'm sure we all saw, and it was very scary for the Giants fans. And Aiden's got to be on the lookout for anything like that. And going hard all the time can hurt your knees, but it's just what he does, and it's what we drafted, and it's what we want. We need him to stay healthy.
Absolutely. Yes, we need to see our big old Justin Timberlake staying healthy all season long, coming off the edge, being a dominant force. So, well, let's dive into the preseason game real quick. We wrap things up there. All in all, we got our first victory. It kind of felt like a cheap victory in the sense where, like, if this was a real game, not so sure that the Lions pulled this out. I feel like they kicked the extra point, then win in overtime just because that's how the momentum was going. But Julius, give me a couple things you noticed in this preseason game, good or bad.
Well, first off, the result of the game, win or loss, I don't mess with it in the preseason because most of the players that played yesterday, not yesterday, but against the Colts, we're all backups. None of our starters played. There's no way I can get a sense of, it was great to see them finish the game though, because that's something you want to see, especially from the Lions. You don't want to start SOLing like we did in the first preseason game. But I wasn't concerned about that. The things I liked, our defense. I mean, I feel like we totally shut the Colts offense down, especially their running game. And our pass rush popped. Shout out to Austin Bryant, who had a heck of a game. Also offensively, Tom Kennedy also had another great game. Tom Kennedy and Austin Bryant, offense, defense side of the ball, just letting y'all know they my cold peak performers of the week. because I'm just gonna throw it out there now because they both are popping. Austin Bryant, I think he's might be ready for a breakout season with Detroit. It's too much Kool-Aid flowing right now for me to get that deep, but I'm just saying, it's the same way I see Aiden Hutchinson giving 100 every play, I see Austin Bryant doing that. Austin Bryant gets off the ball just as well as anybody on the team, including Aiden Hutchinson. So I think we're going to see a lot of him. Tom Kennedy, if this guy keep getting open like this and just coming down with the ball even when he's not open, we might have to use him until we get Jameson Williams, just to have somebody else for Jared Goff to throw to, a safety valve, because that's exactly what Tom Kennedy is. He's reliable, just like Dan Campbell has mentioned. So those are my two highlights of the game, and it was good to see the Lions win, even though it don't mean nothing to me. And I'm ready. I'm glad they staying healthy. You know, they're not losing too many players to injury. And overall, I was pleased with it.
Agreed. Nick, any different thoughts?
Yeah, broke an 8-game losing streak for the preseason. I like that. I want to see wins. I don't want to see undefeated preseasons, obviously, but I like to see wins in preseason. I'd like to see us go 2-1. Wins are contagious, whether it's backups or not. It gets you in the right mindset, in my opinion, especially for these young coaches. I think that's it's just vital to get any kind of win. If we would have been 0-2, even 0-3 in this preseason, everyone would have been taking a big gulp, I think, going into like the preseason, because it's like, we got to get this monkey off your back. It took forever last year to get that monkey. We got to win this year. I don't care if it was preseason. I don't care if it was just backups. It was a win for the Lions. That's good. I haven't seen that in a while, it seems like, especially in preseason. I thought our defensive secondary was trash to start. Our backups were all terrible. I thought our run defense was great. I do think our pass rush was getting there, but Nick Foles – was it Nick Foles? Yeah, Nick Foles was literally torching us. We could not cover anyone in slant routes and crossing routes, so very scared of our secondary, backups or starters. I'm very, 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 very nervous about them. That might be our weakest point this year.
Yeah, it's...
Man, did anyone write down our scores? Because I think we all predicted the Lions to win. Did anyone say 27-26?
No, but I think I said 26-23. So I was kind of close.
I think I said 14-3. So
I think you did say 14-3. I don't remember what I said. I think I said like 20-19.
Something like that. Yeah, so this was a game also. The starters did not play. I don't even think the backups really played. The top receiver that played was Cliff Raymond. Him and Tom Kenny, Trinity Benson, I guess, were the big three. Top running backs that played, Craig Reynolds, I think, got the start. Justin Jackson also, he had a solid game. So this guy, Justin Jackson, he could be a sneaky guy that makes the roster because he's just been performing really well each preseason game. And we did sign him, granted, it was because I think Greg Bell was the running back that had some groin tear, some sort of season-ending injury, but it was a little extra depth. And turns out Justin Jackson's actually been playing pretty well. So averaged 7.7 last week, so solid. And another thing that's kind of ironic, I don't know if Deuce Staley had this game plan or if it just worked out this way, but all our 4 running backs had 7 carries each exactly. So Justin Jackson 7 for 54. Craig Reynolds, 7 for 37. Godwin Igwebuike, 7 for 32. And Jameer Jefferson, 7 for 25. So Jefferson, he feels like he could be that odd man out where Jackson kind of takes his spot. Nick?
He'll always be remembered for Deuce Staley calling him out for shitting his pants in the running backs room, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, Godwin got the touchdown. Jackson looks good. I like Craig Reynolds more than any of them. So, I don't know. Hopefully none of them freaking see the field and DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams just run the whole thing.
Real quick about Deuce Staley last time, though, on Hard Knocks, right before the game, when he was in the locker room, and he said that the Colts got their teeth pulled this week, and they got their asses handed to them in practice all week against the Lions, and they might change some stuff up. But we don't give a F. We Lions, and we hunt.
And we hunt.
I felt that in my soul. And following that quote, Big Sean, Lucky Me, came on with this excerpt of the Lions kind of getting ready for the game, and I swear to God, I was pumped. I rewatched that like 20 times. I even watched it this morning before work just to get ready for the day. So shout out Deuce Staley, that quote, shout out Big Sean, and that whole Hard Knocks excerpt before that Colts game.
Absolutely. Love it. Anytime you get a little Detroit artist mixed with, little Lions, love it. Perfect combination. But another thing I noticed about this preseason game was the Colts, 18 carries, 30 yards, 1.7 average, which is horrendous. Granted, no Jonathan Taylor, which obviously would have made a difference, and no Nyheim Hines, who's, a solid running back himself. But they did have Phillip Lindsay going, and he only had 4 carries for 8 yards. And the dude above him who got more carries, Devonta Price, never heard of the guy, 6 carries, 13 yards. So all in all, you like to see it. Even though it's, preseason guys and the backups, you like to see, building the trenches. So Lions, so far so good. 1-1. Who do we take on next week?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's right. Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's always, Pittsburgh, the Bills, the Colts. I feel like we play a lot. So I don't. How funny would it be if Trubisky just torched us? Because I don't know how it's going to work out, honestly.
No starters are playing.
Won't? No.
The really. Lions are playing their entire starters except for Jared Goff.
I bet starters play one drive if that. No one plays starters for preseason anymore. No one plays preseason starters anymore. No one.
Don't do it.
We got to stop thinking that people are going to play starters. You get the first drive of the first one, and that's it.
Well, I've been preaching this, man. That last preseason game, it's brutal. You're going to see, honestly, I would be happy if, I was a fan there and I got to see the starters for one drive.
They played Pat Mahomes in Kansas City's second preseason game for a whole half.
Andy Reid's the only one. Andy Reid still got this note. He'll play him all fucking quarter. He's the only one. It's really weird.
I'm scared of injuries myself. I wouldn't play a starter.
No one. I guarantee no starters play. Kenny Pickett plays. I bet Kenny Pickett plays the whole first half. But
yeah, that's what I was wondering. Do we see any Kenny Pickett? Do we see some George Pickens? Because whoever's going up against George Pickens,
see the rookies for Pittsburgh. Yeah,
But man, I would love to throw out Jeff Okudah and George Pickens. That would be cool.
No, we don't got to show anyone anything, dude. Save Okudah. Wait for him to come out and bust out the season.
I agree. All right, you guys got any game predictions for this final Steelers preseason game that we're playing? I don't know what the 28th is, but 4 days from now. Is that Friday or Saturday? Sunday. We got the Sunday game. Because, we were Friday, then Saturday, now we're Sunday. I like how they did that for the Lions. I don't know if that was accidental or on purpose, but it's okay. Yeah, never mind. So, Nick, let's start out with you. You think we walk away with a dub?
Yes, 18-17 Lions.
18-17. How do we get to 18? You go 6 field goals?
Sure. However you want to get there.
I like it. I honestly, with all these, 2-point conversions and, teams going for the win at the end of the game, definitely a possibility. So I like 18-17 squeaking out the win. Julius, you got anything more?
I got Tom Kennedy going off one last preseason game for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, delivered one by Boyle, one by Blau. The Lions remain healthy heading to the regular season and beat the Steelers 30-10.
Love it. I'm gonna go 23-24 Lions victory. I was gonna go 23-21, but I feel like we're gonna have that 1-point victory. I like the 1-point win, Nick. You sold me on it. So Lions 24-23. I'm with you, Julius. I think our boy Tom Kennedy knows he's got one final shot, one opportunity, and he's going to make his chance. He's going to go off and have another game. And, hopefully, real quick before we get out of here, does Tom Kennedy make the team, Nick?
Yes.
All right. I like it. Julius? Nope.
Yes.
Okay.
If our prediction holds strong and he has another great preseason game, I think he will. But it's a chance he won't. But I think he will.
And the fact that they said, the Lions, I don't know if you guys caught this in Hard Knocks, they go, the Lions have room for 6, possibly 7 wide receivers.
That's a lot, isn't it?
That's stupid. I don't know why they would say that. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said. 5 or 6. If Kennedy stays, no Cephas or no Cliff Raymond. Decide, pick 2 of the 3. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever you think. I think it'll be Kennedy, and I don't think it'll be Cephas.
I think it'll be Kennedy, and I don't think it'll be Cliff. And just going off of, just a little gut feeling I have, and I feel like Dan Campbell saw Cliff, saw that he was a solid player, but Tom Kennedy, 26 years old, still young. Cliff's, I think, 28, going to be 29. So a little bit, getting close to that wide receiver Cliff. And if Tom Kennedy is something, we'll at least have a couple more years of him. He'll be, maybe he was that Kenny Galladay type player that, just broke out when he was 25, 26 years old. And just, granted, Kenny Galladay kind of got his shot quicker, but same type of, age player, etc. So if Kennedy, Julius, if he has another just solid game, as long as he doesn't, have a couple drops and just absolutely shit the bed, I think he's going to make the team. So I think, the ball is in his hands right now. Oh, jeez. But that's all we got for you guys tonight. We will catch you guys next Wednesday, as of course. Check us out on Twitter at Honolulu Blues _. Check us out individually at Nick Faber NFL, and check out Julius at The Fifth Top and myself at Everyday FFB, posting all sorts of good content. But boys, hopefully Lions get a nice, clean, safe game. No one gets injured, and we get out, ready for week 1.
All day. Go Lions.
Go Lions, baby.
Go Lions.